Welcome all to the Reef podcast. I'm your host, Luis IPA, bringing you another exciting episode here with my good buddy, Nightmare Rising. How you doing, Nightmare?
Doing good. Sharky, how you doing?
Doing good, but bearing with the heat, man. This heat is unbelievable right now.
Yeah, no, we need to go back over to the beach.
Oh, man. Something about the beach, man. Just thinking about it makes me think of water, relaxation, and everything. So we have somebody with us here today. Oh my gosh, I remember that. Yeah. Yep, of course. Now we are on the beach. Ha! We're on the reef. All right, ladies and gents, we got an amazing guest with us here. He's actually a Twitch/Rio streamer. Please welcome the one and only RaumenTV. Welcome in, sir.
Hey, thank you. Good to be here. How's it going?
Good, man. So happy to finally have you here after so many times to try and get a hold of you. You finally have time to be here.
I know. I had to take time out of my very, very busy schedule. You know, brand deals, meetings, fan meetups, all that good stuff.
I'm just happy that I'm just happy that you're here. Would you like to give an introduction to the fellow listeners out there?
Oh, yeah, sure. For those that may not know who I am, my name is Raumen. You can find me at my main channel at twitch.tv/RaumenTV. My schedule is kind of more open-ended now because of work and other real-life responsibilities. But occasionally, it's I casually stream, just a wide variety of games, not one specific one. And yeah, it's usually just a fun, chill, just if you had a rough day at work, that kind of thing. Swing on by and just hang out, chill, and hopefully decompress. So yeah, nothing too complicated there.
That's awesome. And how long you been actually creating content for? Like not just streaming, but in general, like content creation. How long you been doing for?
So it's kind of a longish story, but just to kind of keep it abridged, I originally tried my hand at streaming like a little over 5 years ago, but wasn't able to really continue it at the time. But a little over a year ago, I got back into it, and it's a lot of I enjoy doing it, and it gives me an excuse to go through my backlog of games, just to get through my backlog, just to meet new people, make new friends, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I try to generally do it for at least a week, a portion and whatnot, but it's a little more relaxed. But I'm still wanting to do it and whatnot. I'm just so busy and preoccupied with other things right now, but it'll pick back up once all that calms down. So because I enjoy doing it so much.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. I mean, as long as you actually enjoy what you're doing and you keep on having fun and everything, that's what matters. I mean, people are gonna come by and they're like, "Hey, this guy's pretty funny." I mean, I remember whenever I watched you, you were playing some teacup game. I'm trying to.
Teacup game. I'm trying to remember teacup game.
Cupman?
Yeah, I think it's Cupman.
Cuphead. Yeah. The Cuphead randomizer. Yeah.
Dude, that
not randomizer, crowd control. Yeah, that's what it was.
Dude, that game. I mean, every time I see that game, I just think of classic Mickey Mouse Disney cartoons back in the day.
Yeah. Well, I mean that was kind of the main inspiration of what they made the game, but I decided to add a spin to it just to kind of get more audience interaction with the crowd control. It's actually the first time I tried crowd control anything, and it's a lot of fun, very chaotic, and it's just 1 minute you're doing great, and another minute someone can just instantly kill you or just whatnot, and just be like, whoa, what's going on here? It's pretty chaotic, but it's also a lot of fun. So I definitely recommend it if you haven't tried it out yet.
Gotcha.
It covers a wide variety of games, so you can look at the games list for that and check it out, and hopefully have fun with it. So
that's awesome. I'm glad you recommended that game. So if you don't mind me asking, I mean, we're actually doing this live on Twitch and Rio. What is Rio? What is the main purpose of Rio out there?
Oh yeah. I forgot to mention it as well, but I'm also I work in the background more or less, but I like make sure that the Rio trains like make sure that they go smoothly or whatnot. I'm mainly in the background. I created the feedback form. That's if you're in the Rio Discord, by the way, fill out the feedback form if you have feedback. By the way, no one's filled it out to make my job feel valid. But basically for those that filling out form, feedback.
Okay.
The trains are fun. Filling out the form is fun.
This is what I recommend. This is what I picture. If nobody has left feedback and you still there, that means that you're doing a good job. Like there's no complaints. That's the best way. You always want to look at the positive
Kyle
things.
didn't tell me to. All right, we don't need you. Get out. He hasn't told me that yet. So
no, he's a good guy.
Oh yeah, he's really cool. But for the question, Rio. So if you don't know what Rio is, this is my interpretation of it. By the way, I'm sure like other people can tell you a more official way of putting it. But Rio is basically it's a streaming website. I don't want to say it is a platform per se, but it's not like it's not made in competition to like be like the next best upcoming stream platform thing over Twitch, Kick, YouTube, that kind of thing. It's basically a website where you can watch all of your favorite streamer regardless of what platform they stream on. So if you have a favorite streamer that streams on Kick, but you have values and you have morals, so you don't watch Kick, but you also have another favorite streamer on Twitch, you're able to watch them all on Rio. You can watch any streamer on Rio regardless of what platform they're on, and you can basically support them using the gems. Which is basically Twitch bits, but better because you can keep 100% of it. It's just honestly a great website. So if you haven't checked it out yet, I highly recommend it and check it out. It's completely free. So yeah, I definitely recommend it.
Absolutely. All right. So I know you mentioned that Rio does gems and everything, but one thing I found out from being a content creator, I mean not sponsor one, but I mean a content creator for Rio, is that when people actually give you gems, you can actually give those back to other content creators, which is amazing. I mean, you don't see Twitch do stuff like that.
Yeah, that is true because one time someone tipped me gems, but then I was able to tip them towards another streamer as well. So just being able to do that's pretty cool. Just sharing the love and support back that way. If you get a large amount, you can spread it out more properly that way.
Right.
I think that's cool.
So what is actually one of the biggest dreams that you want to accomplish? When it comes to content creation, what is the main purpose of RaumenTV?
The main purpose, selfish wise, it's to just be like, hey, I made it. Look at me, I'm popular, yay! But realistically, the main reason why I do it is just it's again, I just think it's fun, I think it's one of the good ways to meet new people that may come by and whatnot, and just being able to show off whatever game it is you're playing and whatnot, and just showing it to people, because a lot of people the main thing that I prioritize is playing older games, kind of games you might not see a lot of people on Twitch play and whatnot. For example, you might see me play the Princess Peach game, the Pikmins, the Mario's, that kind of thing. I'm kind of all over Grabbed by the Ghoulies, just for me to try out and see if they're good, but also for other people to be like, oh, I've never seen this game played a whole lot on Twitch, because everyone and their mother plays Warzone, Fortnite, that kind of thing. But just being able to share these kind of games that I know older that they might not have heard of, just sharing it with them, getting to know them, just meeting them is just really awesome. So that's one of the main draws of why I do it. Just showing off, hey, look, I have this game. I know what it is.
All right. So Nightmare here has 2 questions lined up for you. So Nightmare, take the mic.
First question, I'm actually going to go ahead and ask for Viper here, asked in the chat. The Rio Stream Train in the Discord, I know you guys have signups, but what does it mean?
Rio Train signups? So I'm not gonna lie. The way that I kind of had in my head of how I thought it was gonna be run compared to how it is now is kind of it is kind of different than how I thought it was going to be set up in my head, but basically the way that the signups work as of right now, basically from my understanding anyway, like again, like if you want more specific information, I would definitely recommend hanging up like a Warrior or Kyle on the Rio Discord. But basically how it works right now is basically, let's see, just double check to make sure it's okay. So basically how it works is you select 2 time slots that best work with, like, you know, what time slot will work best for like your streams, because I think at currently it's like you get like 1 or 2 hours of a time slot on the train, and then you post a minimum of a 1-minute video clip of like your content and what have you. Again, this is how it's set up right now. I'm kind of like compared to like how it initially had stuff in my head, but I'm just rolling with it. But basically, and then on Sundays, like Kyle does the stream. As far as I know, it's on Sunday, but Kyle does a live stream on the Rio official channel, and he goes through all the submissions and chooses the best videos that I'm pretty. Lewis, I see you on there sometimes, right? You sometimes help Kyle with the selection process with the rain train. You could probably like answer this better as well. Again, I work in the background in the infrastructure, so
right.
Not necessarily so much in the forefront, but that's generally how he does it, right? He usually just like streams like watching all the videos that are submitted, and then he like chooses them for the time slots. Essentially.
So basically, what he comes up with is like people submit clips, and the clips that have to be like at least 1 minute long, and then basically like, you know, I don't know if he does it, because I mean last Rio train that we had, we didn't have to submit clips. I mean, I didn't see it, but I mean, I might be wrong, so if I am, I apologize. But I mean, I know for a fact, like you pick a time slot of whatever time you want to stream at, and you have 1 hour and 30 minutes to stream. And basically, like, you know, during that time frame, people will come in and hang out with you, like, you know, get to know you, and then whoever is the next one in line after your time frame, basically, like, you know, you rate to that person, and then they basically, like, you know, carry on the train, and the train keeps going until the last person of the train basically is there, and then that last person can rate to another person as well. It's basically just like a chain reaction, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it's basically like it usually goes from like noon until like late evening. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But it's a great tool to use though, like, you know, for new streamers getting to know, like, you know, just starting out, like it like, you know, teaches you how to like rate out to other people, and it, you know, gives you exposure as well early on. So it's really great if you haven't done it yet.
Absolutely. I mean, you get to meet so many amazing people, like, you know, throughout there. Like, you're like, hey, new chatter, new person. I mean, it's a great thing.
Yeah.
All right. So what is your other question, Nightmare? By the way, Viper, thank you for the question. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, Viper.
Yeah.
So the other question that I have, how did you get started working with Rio?
So basically, in terms of, and okay, so I'm gonna kind of answer this in 2 parts. So I first found out about Rio on Twitter, like just randomly browsing Twitter one day, and then I found something like, and then I saw like a Rio Twitter post and whatnot, and I've seen similar things before, like, you know, like, hey, come join our platform, you get exposure and all that, and I'm like, okay, I'll check it out at the very least. And and then like after looking at it a little bit, I'm like, oh, okay, I'll try it out for free. And then after a while, and then getting to know the community and whatnot, it's like, oh, this is actually pretty great. I actually like what they're doing and what their cause is, and like everyone. In terms of working for them, so Kyle actually approached me one day. He one day, and good day. I'm secretly Australian. Don't mind me. So he approached me one day, and he asked me how much I knew about like raid trains and whatnot. Which, you know, I'm in a couple of Discords, and I've seen like probably, in my opinion, probably the best ways to actually iterate them. Like in my personal opinion, like, again, that's just me. You could do it any way and it'd be effective and just fine. Just my personal opinion. The best ways to run it. And he asked me if I was interested in kind of like, you know, helping oversee like smooth operations on it and whatnot, like give kind of like feedback opinions on it, what kind of thing. I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll do that. And here I am. There I am. It's nothing really that complicated, but yeah. So it's just it's more so like, again, like I'm mainly working in the shadows in the background, like not so much in the forefront. But I work best like just kind of watching everything work and just kind of like, okay, so this is working, this is not working. And again, I have the Google form, so like as well. So if you have like feedback as well on any of the Ray Trade stuff, what have you, like you'll find it in the Rio feedback thing. I try to post it weekly, but given how not frequently posted that channel's in, it's like you could easily find the link in there. So like again, if you have feedback, definitely fill it out and let us know if there's anything, if you like about the raid trains, if there's anything you don't like, if you want something changed, added, definitely fill it out, let us know, and I'll definitely share it with with Kyle and everyone, and just to improve it. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
so basically you're trying to tell me that you're basically a security guard for Rio.
Yeah. And well, it's more so I work in, think of it like this in SWTOR. I'm basically an Imperial agent working in Imperial intelligence. Like I work in the shadows. You don't know I'm there, but I'm there. So
Like people may see your name online, but they don't know like what's behind the scenes on the background of Rio.
Yeah, it's like, is he doing something important? I'm like, no, I'm playing Final Fantasy 14. What do you think I'm doing? But no, I'm doing things. So it's just like,
See that,
and again, like if you have questions for me as well about like the Rio train, like feel free to ask me, and I'll definitely do my best to answer them.
Right.
So,
all right. So I know you just mentioned Final Fantasy, and that was one question that I actually had written down. Out of I know my co-host here is probably gonna start a dispute about this, but which one is your all-time favorite Final Fantasy?
All-time favorite. Yeah. So I haven't actually played that many Final Fantasy games, realistically. I need to play a little bit more 7. Like, it is fun, it's just, in my backlog. But in terms of out of ones, all the ones that I played, I'm gonna say Final Fantasy 14 is probably the best one to me, personally.
Okay.
So and here's why, before you just completely shred my opinion into shreds. But basically, like, well, for one thing, my girlfriend and several of our friends are playing it, so that definitely helps. But it just the amount of what you could do in Final Fantasy 14 compared to like other MMOs like WoW, other things like that. But the story is so well written in Final Fantasy 14. Like early on, it starts slow, but then like towards like Endwalker and whatnot, it's just the story that they crafted over the years. Like compared to like when it first came out, compared to now, it's like night and day. And like it was crafted with just love and passion. You can very much feel it, and like the side activities you can do as well, and it is just absolutely amazing for an MMO. So I mean, although in terms of single play, in terms of non MMOs though, Final Fantasy 15 like does hold a place in my heart. It's like, I know a lot of people don't like it, but I personally like it. So because it was my first one I've actually completed. So.
Oh really? That's actually awesome. That's good. I mean, I don't have no hate against Nactus. So I mean, if you would have said 13, then we would have had a problem, because
I've never played 13, so I would not know.
please, for the love of Jesus.
I have played a little bit of Final Fantasy 16 though, and I do not care much for 16. I know people like it, but I don't like it. I personally don't like it.
See, if he would have said 10-2, there definitely would have been a problem. Nobody likes 10-2. Even me, who enjoyed 10, did not like 10-2.
I've not played any of the early ones. Only like maybe a little bit of 7 remake, 14, 15, and 16. So,
see, okay, 7 is good. I enjoy 7, but for me personally, my biggest Final Fantasy has to be Final Fantasy 8. I'm a big fan of the storyline for 8, even though it's like all about time compression, timelines, and stuff like that. I like that, but I mean, it's just that the way the battle mechanics were done were so simple, so easy to do, that it doesn't. There's no Final Fantasy that does it like that. I mean, I agree with you with 14. I like the fact that it's massive, but I mean, I don't know if it is, but is it crossplay between console and PC?
Yeah. Actually, it is. Yeah, it actually is crossplay, and I think recently it just got added onto Xbox. So like you can play it on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox consoles. So you actually can.
Oh, okay. That's actually pretty good to hear. Then I mean,
Yeah.
because I have it on I have it on PC. I basically played the trial, and I still have hours left in the trial. And I'm thinking about
the trial's very generous.
Yeah, I'm thinking about eventually picking it up because one of my best friends by the name of Lucky Gumby, he basically is like, you need to get this game. It's so good. Once you get into it, you're not gonna play anything else. I promise you. I was like, oh my gosh.
The story is very good. So if anything else, like play it through for the story, and it's great. Like it starts off slow. Forewarning, it does start off slow, but it does pick up each expansion. So.
That's awesome. All right, so Nightmare, what you got?
We talked about you working background in Rio. What actually got you started? You said you mentioned having a backlog of games. What got you started focusing on the backlog of games for streaming then?
Oh yeah. So let's see. So I started streaming again last year in around March, and one of the things that occurred to me when I first started streaming is like, okay, I can just stick to what I know and whatnot, but I do want to like, revisit some older games and like maybe like try some of the newer ones or whatnot. That was just kind of like the general idea. And then like as I did that with like games that I was familiar with, I'm like, well, hold on. Because, we have like the PlayStation Plus, we got Xbox Game Pass, that kind of thing. I'm like, wait, I can use these to try and to play stream games that I've never played before, and it's like just because there's like so many games available on both of those that you can like play for free, and it's just like just being able to like try them out, get my first genuine reaction on stream, just be like, okay, so this is a normal average Joe's opinion essentially on like how this game is. Like if a game is like overhyped or something, I've never played it. I tried it. I was just like, it's okay. It's more of a level-headed opinion on like how a game is. Like compared to someone who's like a diehard fan is like, oh guys, this is like the best game ever. You have to try it. I'm like, yeah, I mean it's okay. It has its issues. That's fine. But like with Final Fantasy 16. But just. I think it's great just to try out and try the games out and just get a honest level-headed feedback on like how it is. So yeah,
That's awesome. Okay, so what made you want to? This is actually a stream-related question. What made you want to come out with the name RaumenTV? Like, what was the purpose of Ramen? Like the name? Like, was that your first name when you started streaming, or did you have a different name when you started streaming?
Oh yeah. So it was a different name. Obviously I changed it because it was actually my first name was actually from the kind of inadvertently accidentally misspelled version of the name Ramirez from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I want to be like, I was a dumb kid and I'm like, hey, I want to sound cool. I want to sound like an MLG gamer. I spelled it incorrectly though, and everyone automatically assumed I'm Mexican. Just based off the name, and I'm like, no, I'm not Mexican. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. But so I'm like, okay, I need to like rethink my name here. So and despite what it sounds like, no, I don't actually eat ramen noodles on a daily basis, despite what it is. So the name ramen, the way it's spelled, it's actually like just kind of a nickname like friends gave me like within recent years because it was actually the name of a World of Warcraft character I had, like a human Death Knight. His full name was RaumenTV, and I was just like, oh, you know what, this kind of might work, kind of like just shorten it down because again, my friends at the time like even to now they just call me like Ramen as like a nickname kind of thing, and I'm like, you know what, this kind of works. It doesn't make me sound Mexican. It's unique. It's hopefully it won't get me sued by ramen noodle companies, but other than that, it fits me well. So so that I just kind of stuck with it, and when I made my Twitch channel, I'm like, okay, I'll just use Ramen and TV. So there you go. Nothing too crazy. So
now, when you actually play the games online, is your username still RaumenTV?
For the most part, yeah. Like And like in Final Fantasy 14, for example, it's basically my name, but it's like, given like I'm not going to disclose what race I play, but I do have like I do put special characters in to make it fit that particular race. So it's like, same name, just kind of like altered a little bit, but I do try to keep it consistent.
The reason why I said that is because I wonder if, like, you get any people that actually come to your streams and say like, hey, I see you from that you're playing Final Fantasy, or like, engagement. Like, do you get engagement from people actually that come from like watching you play the game?
Oh God, no. No, I don't play MMOs on. So whenever I stream games, I don't really play MMOs or like, multiplayer survival games, that kind of thing, because when it some games, like, I don't stream just because I don't know how to make them entertaining. Like it's kind of like, it's better to play with like multiple people and whatnot, but for the most part it's just me, and I already like struggled to like try to be entertaining as possible while talking at the same time, because eventually a lot of the time I just ramble. Like, even now I'm just rambling, but it just depends on what kind of game it is and whatnot. So I'm when it comes to shooters, like, yeah, I can stream shooters just fine, like Overwatch, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But survival games, MMOs, I don't really touch them on stream. But like, if you do recognize me like online somewhere or whatnot, like feel free to say hi. Like, I'm a very lonely man. Please say hi.
Okay, so the reason,
say hi.
The reason why I'm sorry I'm taking a lot of the time here, but it's just like, I have like one last follow up to this. So, have you ever encountered any of your friends randomly playing online, like the shooters and everything, and like you're like, oh, hey, he's in my lobby now?
I mean, occasionally, but it's not like random. It's not like random Bigfoot sighting friends. Like, whoa, hell, I haven't seen him in ages, but I know him. Hi, how are you? It's usually like, it's usually pre-planned ahead of time. It's like, hey, you want to play this game with this guy and this guy? And I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll play with them. It's very rarely, if ever, do I like meet someone I know online. Mm-hmm. It's usually like, planned in Discord, what have you. Normally half the time. So.
Got you. All right. Well, we're actually going to go to our first commercial break here of the Reef podcast. So, everybody, I mean, thank you so much for tuning in and watching. We appreciate you guys being here. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to ask with Q equals and the question. And we'll be back with a couple of more questions that Nightmare has. And then we're going to touch out a couple more questions. And then we'll do our WTF questions that we have ready for Raumen. So, stay tuned for that.
Wait, what?
You gotta love those dish soap commercials, huh?
I know, right? We really need to find a new commercial for us too, like something else. Don't get me wrong, like the soap, but we gotta find something.
Hey, dish soap's important,
It is. It keeps you clean. It keeps your dishes clean. So I mean, that's what's important.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, you need clean dishes.
Yeah, you need clean dishes. I mean, eventually you'll probably get a detergent commercial. I mean, if you want a detergent commercial or a sunglasses cleaner, do you want that so you can clean your glasses, sir?
That would be helpful, yes.
All right, Nightmare, what you got for a question?
Okay, so besides Final Fantasy, what's some of the other games that you enjoy playing, just not necessarily on stream, just in your downtime?
In my downtime? Yeah. So, let's see. Obviously, I play quite a bit of Helldivers 2 for Democracy, Super Earth, all that good stuff. Let's see. God, there's like
X Defiant.
I'm trying to think of all the. Actually, I have not tried X Defiant yet. That's I've heard things about it. I just haven't like tried it myself. Have you tried it? Isn't it any good?
Me and Nightmare here played it before, and I had fun. I don't know about him, but I had fun playing it because
it reminds me of CS:GO.
Okay.
Yeah, and the best part about it is that it's free to play and it's cross-play between PC, PlayStation, and Xbox.
Oh, okay, nice. Crossplay is always nice.
Exactly.
Let's see. I'm getting a strong urge to replay all the Kingdom Hearts games again. I've been watching a lot of videos about it at work, and I really want to try the Kingdom Hearts randomizer for all the different games and whatnot. I definitely want to try out all that. And let's see. And,
I personally cannot wait for Kingdom Hearts.
I mean, they could take.
I can't wait.
after Kingdom Hearts 3, I want them to take as much time as possible with 4 to make sure it's the best they can, because
I actually agree with you with that.
I mean, 3 is fun, but when it first came out, it was it felt very it kind of felt a little underdone, you know. It was kind of I could get into it, but for the sake of time, I'm not. But it was fun later on when they released Remind and whatnot. But I want them to take their time with 4 and make sure that it's absolutely the best they can. So
I got a feeling that this time they're gonna take their time, because 3 actually felt like it was actually rushed. Like they actually rushed through it, and they're like, okay, let's just put a title out there. And one thing Square Enix needs to learn, from my point of view, is learn to market your game in different consoles. Don't just make it exclusive for a console, because you lose sales numbers.
Stop
and you lose
rushing the games.
Well, to touch on that, then they also had to like kind of remake the game as well, because they also had to change engines like mid development. They were like using one engine like early on, then they swapped to like the Unreal engine like midway through. So they had to like learn to use that new engine they weren't familiar with at all midway through development. So it kind of did feel rushed in that respect. But thankfully with Remind, it did make it better. But there are aspects of it that I wish that were better about it. But for what it is, it's fine, you know. But obviously 2 is still my favorite one. So
all right, so what is your I know you stream sometimes, or like you play games and everything, but what is your go-to meal when you're actually playing games? Like, do you have like a snack that you eat like while you play games? I mean, me personally, I used to eat hot Cheetos every time I played games, but I don't do that anymore. I basically quit on those, and all I do now is just drink water and eat apple juice. Not apple juice, I'm sorry, applesauce.
Apple juice?
No, I'm not eating apple juice. There's nothing wrong
with apple juice.
No, I'm trying to figure out how you eat it.
No, you know what I mean. Applesauce. I eat applesauce. I eat yogurt, things like that. I don't eat any like of the artificial things anymore.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I mostly do just drink water, like whenever I'm gaming and whatnot. Like I do nibble on like maybe small things, like if I'm like passing by the kitchen, like if there's like a Oreo or a like a big bag of chips, I might grab a couple of those. But I try not to snack. I try to be a good boy with my waistline and whatnot. But I try. But you know, when it comes to dinner time, it's like should I have like the healthier stuff in the fridge, or should I just order a pizza? You know, and it's just like.
Then I can't wait for you to answer our WTF questions, because those are like the random questions that we ask out of the blue that have nothing to do with the podcast, that come at the end of the show. All right, so Nightmare, what you got?
All right, so Louis kind of touched on the snacks there. What about your favorite drinks to have what do you have normally sitting around you while you're streaming?
Besides water.
Besides water? Okay. So if alone drinking water, I do again I try to be as responsible as I can, but I usually drink like one can of soda at my desk, which is usually like a zero sugar or a diet soda, like Pepsi, Coke, that kind of thing. And I also like once a day I drink like a Celsius energy drink of various different flavors and whatnot, but it's kind of like a healthier energy drink kind of thing, but it's like mainly meant for like if you like very heavily work out kind of thing, but it's just like, it doesn't have like aspartame in it or what have you. Apparently it increases your metabolism, but I'm still fat, so I don't know how accurate that even is. But the flavors are good. Like I ordered a couple more batches of it like the other day. So
see, I never actually had a drink of Celsius. I only had like the vitamins that they have. I only had vitamins before, but I never had a Celsius drink. I'm gonna have to actually check that out.
Yeah, I can recommend you like a couple of flavors. Like there's a cola flavor that's really good.
Because I mean,
it reminds me of excess energy that some of my friends sell.
Oh really? All right. So next question I have. Okay, what is your go-to genre of music that you go to? Like not just in streaming, in general. Like what is like Raumen's genre of music?
My personal favorite genre. Okay. God, I'm gonna be old. I mean, I'm 30, so I'm already old, but young old, something along those lines. But my personal favorite genre would probably be like 80s music, just because like it was the music that me and my dad always listened to, like when I was growing up and whatnot, and like so many of those songs I've listened to and like really love to listen to. So it's just like my top genre, I would say, just from listening to it for a long time.
That's why me and you became friends, just because of that freaking 80s, man.
Just purely based off music choice, nothing else, just music choice.
So you're saying that if you play Grand Theft Auto Vice City, you'll be like nostalgic all the way, just because of all the 80s music.
If I could put a Danger Zone, if I could put any Kenny Loggins song on loop in Grand Theft Auto, I probably would. So,
well, it actually was part of Grand Theft Auto 5 when you actually did a heist. And you had to actually steal some jet planes from an aircraft carrier. When you were leaving, like the aircraft carrier, that song "Danger Zone" kicks in.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
I was like, that's actually pretty neat. Because I mean,
yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah,
that's one thing I love about Rockstar games is that they always put so much detail into their games, and that's why they take years. Unlike other platforms that do games every year, Activision. Yeah.
Activision, EA,
Square
Enix.
Hey, listen. EA needs like another year to put ads in their Battlefield game. Okay, they need like another year for that to choose what ads to put in their game. So,
oh my gosh.
I will say this: I am glad how long it's taking for anything to come out for Black Ops 6. Activision has finally learned something.
We'll see about that.
One thing
we'll see about that.
One thing I will state about that, I'm happy that at least Game Pass is gonna have it day one for free. If you have
that's true. That is a plus. Yeah,
that is a good thing. But I did heard that they're gonna increase the price of Game Pass because of that. They said like hey, Ultimate Game Pass is gonna be a little more expensive than what it is. But I was like, dude, it's worth it though. You get titles day one, and you don't have to pay like the full $70 for it. I'll take that, like 100%.
I mean, yeah, it's like Ubisoft, like when they announced like their very like how expensive Star Wars Outlaws is gonna be, and I'm just gonna pay $15.25 for like 1 month to play and be like, I'm good.
Now, did you hear what they're doing with Assassin's Creed, like the new one? So apparently, if you get the Ultimate Edition, you get access to this certain missions only available for that edition of the game. If you basically play the game basic, you don't get those missions. You have to get the Ultimate Edition of Assassin's Creed to play those missions.
That sounds like some. Yeah.
They've been doing that with other games too, I think.
Yeah, Star Wars Outlaws has something like that too. Yeah, like a secret Jabba mission. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But
I think it's absolutely dumb. Just release like the game in full. Like, you know, like sure it could still be expensive, but just release the entire thing in full. You know.
Do what Hogwarts Legacy did. If you want to do a console exclusive mission, release it later for all the consoles. Give it early access to like, what was it? I think PlayStation had the Hogsmeade shop mission.
Yeah.
And now they're later on this summer they're releasing it for every console that has Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah.
I would say
basically
I would say basically have console exclusivity for 6 months and then release it to other consoles, like, you know, like after 6 months. Don't do like a whole year, because then people will be like, oh, I have to wait a whole year to actually play that. I mean, come on. Like
they need to do that on PC as well, like with like the Epic exclusives. Like make that 6 months. If it's like like a PC specific game, like 6 months on Epic at most, and then like release it on Steam. You know. Instead of like a full year or two, or however long it takes. Like it's ridiculous. That's what they're doing with the Kingdom Hearts games. Like that's gonna be released on Steam next month after like however long it's been on Epic for.
Oh my gosh! All right, so Nightmare, do you have any more questions to ask our gentleman here?
Question for you, good sir. With all the games that you've played, what would you say would be your favorite go-to genre for that nostalgia?
That's So in terms of like genre, like if I had to like think of a game on top of my head right now that I would go back and play just to like knock out in a day, it would probably be like let's see, it would probably be like somewhere in the adventure genre, because one game that I remember always, actually there's several games that fit that category, but I'm gonna choose the one that I always go to like more frequently. It's all the Kingdom Hearts games. Like every now and then I always get the strong urge to play them all again, like, and I just do it just because they're just so fun, so like, yeah, that's like action adventure RPG kind of thing. Yeah, something along those lines. But there's like so many games I would do that with, but recently Kingdom Hearts has just been on that list for me, just because of like how yeah, pretty much all of them. So although Luigi's Mansion does come close, so
it is one of those questions that makes you think, like, of all the games that you played, like, what's the most nostalgic to you?
Yeah, like, and it is a hard question for me just because I grew up playing so many games. Like, it's just like I would play any of them, but like just choosing one is like the hard part. Like, out of so many of them you grew up with, it is hard.
Yeah, you're right about that. I mean, for me, like, it's tough to choose. I mean, I know I love Pilot Wings. I love, like, so many retros and everything like that, but it's just too many to count. But I mean, for me personally, it has to be the Sims franchise. As much as I don't like buying the expansion packs because they're crazy expensive, I just love the style of the game. It's a live simulation. You get to create yourself, you get to have fun, and you have freedom to do whatever you want. I mean, it's great.
See, mine's always been Hydro Thunder.
Oh, dude, I remember
the old arcade Hydro Thunder.
Like, literally,
I remember that.
Literally waste 50 cents to literally
you would only waste 50 cents? I'd go through about $5.
No, but I'm just saying, like, per turn, it would be 50 cents. Like, every time that you use that and everything, it would be 50 cents, like, every time. But I remember...
Well, I mean, just hearing the title theme is worth 25 cents alone.
I'd sit there and just listen to it.
I also remember playing Initial D in the arcades. I remember playing, what's it called? Cruising USA back in the day. I remember Rush Hour. Dude, those were the games to play back then when we had an actual arcade at the mall where I live. And now basically it's completely gone. I mean, it used to be called Aladdin's Castle. And then after that, it changed to the name Tilt. And then after Tilt, it basically just went out of business. I was like, man, they need to have another arcade, like, place, like, to actually, for people that want to play.
I mean, there's always Dave and Buster's. Like, there's always Dave
True.
and Buster's
but
you can go to.
It's not the same.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
It's not the nostalgia. Don't get me wrong, I love Dave and Buster's, but it's not the nostalgic feeling.
Oh no, I get it. Like,
there's a place here. I want to say it's called like Planet 43. It's a bar, but when you go to the back half of the bar, it's an arcade, like an old-fashioned arcade.
Oh wow.
Damn. I also remember Landing High Japan, I think it was called. It's like almost like a rip-off of Flight Simulator that came out. And my goodness, that one I did waste a lot of coins. I also wasted a lot of coins on Time Crisis. Everybody remembers Time Crisis? Yeah.
I've heard about that,
Super Mario World Arcade.
Super Mario World
Super Mario World Arcade.
See, I never actually got to play it.
I don't think I've seen it in the arcades I used to go to. I don't think I've ever seen that.
It's a rare version, but it was an official Nintendo arcade of Super Mario World that you got to pick what level you played when you put the quarters in.
That sounds like a world. That almost sounds like a Nintendo World Championship specific cartridge, like they used to do, like with the NES.
It wouldn't surprise me if that's what it's based off of.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool though.
Yeah, if I ever got to play Super Mario on the arcades, that would actually be awesome. I mean, there's so many. Like I said, there's a variety of games out there that is just incredible. I mean, I never thought that games would actually go from cartridges all the way to freaking CDs now and then digital now. It's like, dude, eventually, I mean, I know you can do it now, but I mean, there's a policy behind it that you can buy a digital game and then you can return it. But apparently, once you open the application, you can't return it for some reason. I'm like, dude, you should be able to have like at least a 7-day window to return the game. I mean,
Yeah.
It's not fair. I mean, we basically like, yeah, we want to play it, we want to enjoy it, but I mean, we don't want to just like, be like a few hours and be like, oh, well, I mean, if we change our mind and we don't like it, we should be able to return it.
Yeah, like, or at the very least, like the way Steam does it with like within like a 2-hour time window or something like that for refunds.
Right. All right. So we're actually gonna get down to our WTF questions here on the Reef. These are the most craziest, weirdest questions out there that we have, that we always ask our guests. And I have one question in particular that's gonna make you scratch your head and be like, I don't know you anymore.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So
either that it's gonna
I got a burger
friendship,
this time for the snack. I've got a burger this time to snack on when you ask that question.
#burger. That's what you're
Because
trying to say.
I know it's going to take a minute just for him to figure out what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Just because you said that, I'm gonna say yes, and then we're gonna move on, and then you won't have time to eat your burger.
Oh no, because it's going to take you a minute when he asks it.
All right. I'm interested in that question. So let's. What you got?
All right. Well, I'm not gonna ask it yet. I'm gonna start with my easy, go-to questions like that we ask here. But I mean, after,
Okay.
I'll save it for the last. So that way, that's the last. All right.
All right.
All right. If you could have any superpowers out there, what would it be and why?
Ooh, any superpower? Funny thing, very occasionally I think about this. Don't ask me why. I don't know why I do. I just do. But every time, in terms of superpower, I would probably say it would probably be along the lines of like regeneration, like just fast healing, like Wolverine. Yeah, Wolverine. Deadpool.
Mm-hmm. Are you trying to advertise the movie, my good sir?
No. What? No. We're not going to do that. What? No. I would never do that. What? No. I'm waiting for my paycheck, Marvel. But so. I mean, a lot of powers are cool, but I mean, if you could just like, if you injure yourself and you just heal yourself like in a snap of fingers, like, oh, okay, cool. I like this.
If only I could.
Explanatory,
If only I could snap my fingers and bring this co-host of me next to me, so we can have that podcast next to each other when we talk to people. I'll be like, doop, and then he's just like,
but then you would,
but
then that, and you would have to fight over the burger. So I mean,
that is true.
Well, in the long term, that would work.
See, I'd go get him another burger first. Give me like 2 minutes. Hold on.
All right,
let me DoorDash one real quick.
Yeah. All right, go for it, Nightmare. What you got?
All right, donuts or bagels? What's better for breakfast?
Okay, so this is like God. This is like if someone were to ask me if hot dogs are sandwiches. So it depends. So let me ask that. So by themselves, or do you put like condiments on them? Like
however you want.
Okay, so for me personally, I do prefer donuts, like just one. I again have to be a good boy, watch my waistline. But I do acknowledge that people may prefer bagels because you could put different condiments on them, like butter, jam. Like you could customize a bagel to be absolutely delicious over a donut. I acknowledge that. It's more so personal preference. But I enjoy a good simple donut. Nothing wrong with like a simple glazed donut in the morning. If you just want something simple, just be like, yes.
Either yes, or you can go donut. Must have my
donut.
They actually have the Simpsons donut at Circle K here. That's the funny part.
How terrible is it?
Oh, it's good. It's actually really good.
Oh, okay. Because I know, because a lot of times I see like specific media like inspired items. This is like, all right, they're just doing this for a quick cash grab, aren't they? This is like not even good.
Man,
it was actually really good.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. All right, so swim underwater or become invisible.
Ooh,
like basically, if you swim underwater, you don't have to worry about the water pressure, nothing like that. Like you can just go all the way to the dark side of the ocean, and you won't feel anything.
Okay, so on one hand, okay, so on one hand, okay, so if I was invisible, would I have control over that invisibility, or is that something I'm stuck with that I can't control?
You can control it. Like if you want, you can go invisible and then turn back visible, like within 30 seconds or whatever. There's no time.
Okay.
Time limit.
Okay. So on one hand, being able to swim underwater with no restrictions is nice because you're allowed more. You can explore more of the world that way. And you can potentially go to like, shipwrecks and make some discoveries, make some money that way. On the other hand, though, just because I'm able to swim underwater doesn't mean I know how to swim. And I could still be at risk of being eaten by sharks, giant whales, whatever eldritch horrors is in the deep ocean. And I'm assuming, like, I'm not immune to, like, temperature changes. Like, if I were to go all the way to the Antarctic, I would probably freeze. Like, I'm assuming if I were to go to Antarctica, I'm assuming I will freeze, so.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna say maybe invisibility.
Okay.
I don't have access to the water, but for an introvert like me, it's perfect, It's like, I can try before I approach any situation, I just kind of just like scout out and be like, okay, what's the general vibe of everyone here? Just kind of get a general vibe, and then if it looks safe, I'll go in.
So the main reason why I asked that is because invisibility was more like this guy, his side, while Reef underwater and everything was for me, the Reef. So basically, like, that's why it's like, what'd you rather, swim underwater like the Reef or be invisible like the wolf? Because the wolf here. Ooh. Basically, like, loves to be in land. He doesn't like to be in water. So
that and I don't know how to swim. So that's obvious. That's immediately like, nope, I'm good. I'm good. I don't need to swim anymore.
All right. Before I get to my next one, I'm going to go ahead and ask the question Atomic asked here. Favorite pro streamer moment? Stuck muted for 10 minutes. Wrong category. Whatever.
Best streamer mode, like from my stream or like from anyone's stream?
It doesn't really specify. It just says favorite pro streamer moment.
Favorite pro streamer moment. Okay. God, get out your burger now, because oh boy. I can't really choose like a specific example from like a specific streamer per se, but I would say like a pro streamer moment, like I see sometimes is like, they're talking with their chat and whatnot, and then like doing like some pro, I guess parkour kind of thing, because they're like playing something like a Mirror's Edge where they're like jumping on the walls or whatnot, and then like something happens like unexpectedly that just makes it more complicated, and they're like panicking, and then like and then like there's like kind of this frantically spam all the buttons and whatnot, and then like at the end it's like they emerge on the other side completely unharmed, and it's just like, well, okay, so anyway, as I was saying, kind of thing. Like, I've only seen that like a couple of times, but I've always like appreciate that kind of sudden change of plan. Like, oh, okay, I planned that.
See, I'm gonna kind of call somebody out here and say when they forget to make sure the desktop audio's recording.
That happened once over here in the Reef podcast.
And you don't find out for 3 days.
I don't find out for 3 days, and we have to actually redo the whole podcast, which really is like horrible to hear. But I mean, sometimes like when things like that happen. Sometimes when things like that happen, I mean, basically like you learn from it and you do even a better job the next time. So.
Oh yeah, and I always pick on him as soon as we get in for sound checks. Like, hey, make sure it's working this time.
Yeah. Because otherwise,
make sure your audio's working.
He will never live that down.
No, that's always gonna be like a scar in the Reef podcast for the rest of my life.
It's not a scar. It's just a moment that will live.
It's a badge of honor. It's a personal badge of honor.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, do you eat cereal? Yes or no?
There we go.
I personally don't. I don't even remember the last time I ate cereal, in all honesty.
Okay, but I mean, you did eat cereal before in the past.
At one point, yeah.
Okay, do you pour the cereal first and then the milk, or the milk and then the cereal?
Okay, so Okay, so I know how. Okay, I've heard this question before. So, okay, so me personally, I would. All right, so me personally, how people around me and how I've always done it was, you pour in the cereal first and then the milk.
Okay.
Go ahead, Louis.
Oh, well,
Oh.
let's just say for me it's the opposite. I always put the milk first and then the cereal.
Now,
That's why I have a burger.
now, see, I'm not going to judge you and say that's wrong. I'm just going to ask you why.
Just, I mean, it's just a habit, I guess. I mean, I always just put the milk first and then the cereal and then just eat it like that. See, I mean, some people are actually calling me psychopath here on the Reef podcast.
Yeah, I mean, it just makes more sense. You put the cereal in and then you like pour the liquid over it. I don't know. It makes sense, like in terms of like not overfilling the bowl and like wasting up the cereal with the milk.
All right. So, pineapples on pizza, yes or no?
Okay, so, all right, so a lot of people say no, but I don't know if they're just like memeing on it or just like hate training on it. But depending on what you get on the pizza and depending on where you get the pizza, I actually do like pineapple on pizza. It's like you may meme on it, you may hate on it, but depending on where you get it from, I think the combination between the sweetness of the pineapple and the saltiness of the pizza actually kind of balance each other out and make a nice compliment to each other. So
you just
depends.
You just made a nightmare's day right here by saying that.
I've been saying the same thing every time he asks that question. All depends on the toppings.
Yep.
Not me.
Like if you just get it by yourself, like probably not needed. But if you get like pepper, like all the salty meats on it with pineapple, it's like okay, it might work better.
You bring pineapples on my pizza, I'm literally grabbing the whole pizza and then probably shove it in your face and be like, here.
Man, pineapples and olives. Or pineapple and jalapeno. Both are good options.
Oh my god.
The key is to add more toppings with the pineapple, not just the pineapple.
Yeah, not
itself.
just
That's the key.
pineapple. You want something more savory to go with that sweet.
Not me. Fruit does not. Fruits do not belong on pizza. I'm sorry. That's just me.
Okay, let's see what scares him more. Flying sharks. So sharks just jumping out of the water, flying through the air, and being able to fly indefinitely. Or tigers with the ability to breathe underwater.
Ooh.
Damn.
I thought the milk question would break him. I think I might have done that.
So on one hand, all right, so overthinking as I always do. I don't know how fast sharks swim underwater specifically. I don't know. But I'm assuming with sharks, they can fly through the air as quickly as they can swim underwater, so they might be more of a threat. But they don't have limbs either. They don't have claws. They only have like their sharp teeth and like maybe their
tail.
Force, yeah. Or yeah.
They could actually whack you with the tail though. That's the thing.
Yeah. And I'm assuming
Especially if they're flying, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm assuming if you try to shoot them with bullets, it wouldn't be as effective. With a shark, they can. I don't know. They can swim underwater, sure, but I don't know how fast they can swim underwater, and they're still made out of flesh. So it's just like just pump like a full mag in them, and you can put them down. Sharks, I have no idea, so I'm gonna go with sharks. So flying sharks, I'd say.
Gotcha. All right. So do you have any more questions, Nightmare? Before I ask the final question that we have.
Pizza or wings?
Pizza or wings?
Yes.
It depends on where you get the pizza and wing. Like in general, in general, I'm gonna go with pizza. But in terms of specifics, it depends on where you get the pizza and the wings from. Yeah, because some places like Buffalo, like they have really good wings at Buffalo, from my understanding. But if it's like a pizza and wing combo place kind of thing, like depending on what their first priority is, like one might be better over the other. So again, it just depends on where you get it from. But for me personally, I'm gonna choose pizza. It's just a safe bet. So
Gotcha. All right. So you're in the forest with no weapons, nothing like that. You're just stuck in the forest. Like they dropped you off, and like you have no way home but to walk. Like the only way that you can go home is by walking.
You gotta die in the forest.
All right. So so you're walking your way home, and there's two paths that you have to choose. One path, if you go to the left path, you'll face one bear-sized goose. Okay.
A bear-sized goose.
Okay. If you take the right path, you actually face 100 goose-sized bears.
100 goose-sized bears?
Yes. So, you have no weapons. You don't have any weapons whatsoever. Only your fists. Which path would you choose?
Okay, so either way they're gooses, right? Like either way they're gonna be like very stubborn and like not scare easily at all.
It's supposed to be a goose-sized bear.
Just a really giant goose. The other are a bunch of little bears.
Yeah.
Little bears.
Yeah, I
Okay,
made a mistake on that. It's
I
goose.
see,
Yeah, so
I see.
100 goose-sized
Okay.
bears and one bear-sized goose.
Okay, and I have nothing on me. Okay.
Nope, just your bare fists.
So, okay, what kind of bear? Like, what kind of bear am I?
Grizzly
Yeah.
bear. We'll just go grizzly bear.
Grizzly bear? Okay. I'm the kind of guy that just like, okay, what kind of bear? What's the ratio of the bear? How hungry is it? What season? Okay. All right.
It just woke up and you're the first one.
God. All 100
There
of
you
them.
go.
Okay. So, okay, so on one hand, a giant goose, yikes. But to be fair, geese only really attack you if you like get up in their grill. If you like kind of like, kind of respect it, like just go around it, they leave you alone. 9 times out of 10. Grizzly bear, like the grizzly bears though, 100 of them, if they're starving hungry and they're coming after you, then like they can come get you. But oh wait, there's like 100 of them though.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Okay, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go with the goose because I've dealt with gooses like a bunch, like at least a handful of times, like in my life, even now. But with geese, as long as you leave them alone, they'll generally leave you alone. They might hiss at you and then be like, "I'm gonna mess you up, boy." But if you leave them alone,
I'm gonna have a
they'll-
really good Christmas dinner.
yeah, if I can kill it, like cool, I'm bringing home Christmas dinner, Thanksgiving and Christmas dinner. Let's go.
Especially a
But,
bear-sized one. Bear-sized one
Yeah,
would be good for a
bear-sized
lot of
one,
meals.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but 100 bears, it's like
No.
no.
Uh-uh.
There's like maybe a couple of instances where you can get away from them, but otherwise, if they all come after you, it's just like nope, nope.
The one thing we had a guest here in our first years of the podcast that we asked him the same question, like about the bear-sized goose and the geese-sized bears, and he said, "Did you know?" I mean, we haven't proved this yet because I haven't seen any geese around, but he said that if you have a green laser pointer and you point at their feet, they get intimidated and they turn the other way. Like they literally, they literally.
Find my laser pointer too. I'm going to go test this. If I come back with scars all over my face, understand it does not work.
If you do that and you don't come back alive at all, then we know it won't work.
Yeah, I'll be like, yeah, my co-host is basically like underground now. Yeah, he got pecked to death by a goose.
He's currently in the ICU. He went to go test the theory and it didn't work.
Myth busted.
All right, so is there?
Don't worry, it'll all be on camera.
Yeah, we have footage of this discovery right now.
He'll be like, what's his name? The guy from Australia, the one that used to hunt crocodiles, like not hunt them, but I mean like.
Steve Irwin.
Yeah, he'll be like the Steve Irwin, but with the geese, and be like, I'm here, ladies and gentlemen.
God, yeah. Would you look at that?
Look at that
Its neck is
goose.
so wide. It's such a long neck and sharp teeth.
Oh my gosh. All right, so is there anyone out there that you would love to give a shout out to if they're not here and like you want to just give them a personal shout out? Feel free to do it right now.
Yeah. So I don't have anyone in mind, but I want to give a big shout out to like unsurprisingly everyone in the Rio community. Just being there right now, just being a part of like the community itself and helping it like evolve and grow, because there's a lot of things like it's still relatively new, but like the rate that it's growing and things are being made for it is just, it's absolutely amazing. Like recently, I think the website domain things got all done. Now I think they're working on like the AI thing, like like streaming, like
that
AI thing.
Also, don't forget that they're also working on the mobile app now.
Oh yeah, the mobile app. Yeah,
That's gonna be handy for a lot of people, because I mean, some people are not home sometimes, and they'll be able to watch on the go, which is amazing. But
yeah, like just having all those in development, like just everyone involved, you, Kyle, Warrior, more people. I don't know their names on top of my head, but practically everyone like helping make Rio the best it can be is like, you know, like can't be where it is right now without everyone being involved, and like again like this yeah, so just basically just Rio in general, like everyone involved. And if you have like any feedback at all about Rio at all, like things you want to improve, that kind of thing in general, like definitely let us know in the feedback channels, like as well. Again, plugging Rio Train. I have a feedback form filled out if you have feedback, please. But but other than that, though, like just everyone in Rio, like whether it's developers, you, regular streamers, like it's only gonna get better going forward. So just thank you all for being a part of it. So.
Awesome. Well, I personally want to give a shout out to the listeners out there that are listening to this podcast. I also have Nightmare here that's going to give a special shout out to our YouTube comment that we had from last week. So, Nightmare, go ahead.
Ooh. I forgot the name of it. You were supposed to send me the name.
Okay.
He didn't send me the info, guys.
Okay.
He tells me, and I'm like, okay, I need you to
it shows
send
you how
to
important
me
the
so I
comment
forget.
really was that they couldn't remember the name.
All right.
Normally I have it up. It's just I have everything else up on my screen at one
All right.
time today.
So let's go ahead and look at this comment.
What was the name? Because you said
Yeah.
you have the thing pulled up, so if you can go ahead and share your screen too, that would actually help.
Okay, so I'm not able to share my screen right now because we have the podcast here, but I personally, from me and Nightmare Rising, we want to thank all the people that watched our last episode that we had with Savage Crown 9. We are currently at 17 views on YouTube with 3 likes. Thank you guys so much for all the contributions on the YouTube video. Thank you for listening on iHeart Radio and all your favorite platforms. But we want to give a massive shout out to Charlene Styles. Thank you for stating your name. You are actually officially have entered the end of the year Reef podcast giveaway that we have planned for you guys. And like I said, it's so easy, guys. All you have to do is just put a comment on the new podcast episode that we have coming up with Raumen here and Atomic later, because we actually going to be doing 2. I'm not saying 1. I'm saying 2 podcast interviews today, because we're just about to finish our first one and we're about to jump right onto the second one, which this is actually something.
Mom let you have 2 podcast interviews.
Well, we're basically like, this is something we wanted to try and see how we actually can handle 2, like, back to back, and see how it goes. But we're actually happy to have everybody. So Charlene Styles, again, thank you so much for the comment.
Actually up here for you, Luke.
I greatly appreciate it. And as you can see here from Nightmare's point of view, there it is. Charlene Styles, thank you so much for the contribution. We greatly appreciate you. And we appreciate all the listeners out there, like Raumen, everybody that listens to the podcast on Rio and Twitch. Thank you guys so much. And any last things you want to say, Nightmare?
Appreciate you.
Wait, you kind of cut off, buddy.
Saying, sorry. I was saying thank you for coming in, Raumen. Greatly appreciate you.
Oh yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me. It's always cool to be a part of these. I appreciate you inviting me out.
Oh, dude, it's always a pleasure to have you here. We enjoy having you here. As you can see, we're focusing all 3 of us for a little bit. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be back shortly don't go anywhere. We're actually gonna take a little break, and we're gonna get ready to interview Atomic Games. So thank you again, Raumen, and keep an eye on the YouTube video for this interview if you missed it, and it'll be available on all the platforms that are listed on the bottom left. So until then, see you guys in a little bit. As always, today's episode of the Reef podcast was streamed live on Twitch. If you could not make it to the live stream of the podcast, you can always listen to it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and iHeart Radio. Thanks for listening. See you next time.